What's up, y'all? Welcome to I want to say it's like a day in my life, kind of like chit chat, all of that. So, what's up? Welcome. So, today is Tuesday, September 10th. I am putting together my kids' progress reports and putting them in their Take Home Tuesday folder and putting them in their mailboxes for them to go in their binders this afternoon. And I haven't really been recording in the classroom that much, simply because here in the state of Georgia, things are getting wacky when it comes to education. And not wacky in a bad way. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's wacky because it's all coming down at once. So, we are now using the science of reading as our literacy end-all be-all. That's it. If it's not the science of reading, then you're not using it. The literacy standards for the state of Georgia are in the process of changing. The Senate passed a new law that went into effect this school year about dyslexia and at-risk readers and all of that, which affects all of the things that we have to do in the classroom. So, we've pretty much spent the first 4 weeks of school giving a multitude of tests. There was an online assessment that was required for the district, an online assessment that was required for the state. We have to give our weekly assessments for the skills and standards we're teaching. We have to teach routines and procedures, and it's just felt like a lot. And so I haven't really been able to get into the swing of things to create content for you all to see in my classroom. That's not his. No biggie. We can adjust. And we can, get with it. But that's why there hasn't been a long form video about center rotations and how I'm rolling out flexible seating. A long form planning video, although this might turn into that. But yeah, so that's what's been up and what's been going on. The kids are at specials right now. It's almost time for me to go get them. So we will continue our chit chat when they're at lunch. Okay, so I think the last time I talked to you was 2 days ago, to be completely honest with you. That's just how life is working this year. But, child. So, this little chit chat is going to also turn into a plan with me. And I'm going to show you a couple of clips because I think some people are confused when I say that we team plan together. Like, our school is so large for an elementary school that there are 9 first grade classes in this school. So, we've broken up into 3 groups. So there is the science social studies group that plans science and social studies every week. There is the math group, and then there is the literacy group. Now, the literacy group includes phonics, writing, and reading standards altogether, plus vocabulary. So we meet once a week as a subject team, core team, and then we meet as a complete first grade team to go over the plans for the following week. So that's what I'm going to show you right here.
Is
our blends. I was thinking of our controls.
Nope, our blends. And then the following week is S and an S endings, and then a mixed review. And then at the end of 2 weeks, you're going to give the final quarter one assessment. Yeah.
So next week we're reading Honey, Honey, Lion. So day one we're going to introduce the book, read it, discuss character setting and character traits. So that's basically just review of all the stuff we've already learned. We're also going to do grammar. We're doing punctuation. And just a heads up, I added something cute. I took like what Whitaker was doing with the hammer time thing, and I added a Go Noodle for the song, just because like my kids get really angsty like between like reading and grammar. So I thought it would be a nice like break between it. But if you don't want to do it, just delete the side, not a big deal. And then
Okay, so now that you've seen that, I have my notes that I took. I have my planner. And what I do is I go into my planner and then I just, put my spin on what we talked about as a whole grade level. I need my pens, my colors, and so basically we are doing, we're working on blends in phonics, and because we're using the science of reading, I will be doing blends in small groups, which next week is week 6 or 7 of school, and it will be the first week doing a full run through of one small group, just one, because centers haven't moved because of all the testing. But let's run it back because that little chit chat piece is for another time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with math. Mint green for math. Math next week is comparing numbers. So in our mini lesson, we're doing comparing numbers. So I just need to write that all the way across the top for the mini lesson. Comparing numbers, because that's all 5 days. And then in pen, I'm gonna write that we're going to use base 10 blocks, pennies, and dimes, and then compare standard form. So this just lets me know everything that I need to prepare to have ready for next week. Okay, so I almost went out of order. I don't know why I started talking about blends and phonics, because I like to plan in the order of my schedule. So we do morning meeting, then math centers, then we have snack, and then we do science and social studies. So next week we are supposed to start with magnets, but we won't get to magnets until Thursday and Friday, because we need my blue pen for this, not highlighter. We need to review, is the right planner? We need to review weather and precipitation on Monday and Tuesday. We need to review seasons, because on Wednesday I need to give them the district assessment for the unit. Yeah. And so I just keep everything color coded like that. And that's how I plan everything. And then I go back and do my groups last. So I like to watch a show while I plan. So the rest of this is going to be time lapse while I do phonics and writing and my read aloud and literacy stuff. Okay, so I'm at the end of the writing portion of how I plan, and we do shared reading units for our reading standards, reading comprehension standards, and to bolster that in my classroom, I also do read alouds. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I use the Primary Scouts read alouds from Teachers Pay Teachers. They're really good. They come with lots of different they come with lots of different standards and skills, and one of the ones that all of them come with is a retelling craft. So they have to be able to put the story in sequence, and I think that really helps having the students do that, because when they're doing their writing pieces, it's in the back of their mind that they know they have to have the story in sequence. So for read aloud next week, we are doing Honey Honey Lion, and it's about African animals. So shared reading is Honey Honey Lion. And we're going to be talking about character traits, which is good because the past 2 weeks we've done the character traits in some fall books that we've been reading. We read The Leaf Thief today, and we compared the bird and the squirrel. And then we read The Squirrels Who Squabbled last week, and we compared the 2 squirrels in that book. So continuing on with those character traits. So by next week, they should be good money with it because they've seen it for 3 weeks now. So Honey Honey Lion with character traits and retelling. Our grammar is going to be punctuation, and then our nonfiction incorporation or integration is going to be a nonfiction about African animals. So now I just need to figure out what read aloud I'm going to do next week, and then it's time for us to start pulling materials and setting everything out and prepping that way.